The focus of this webinar is for multi-tenant properties, both residential and non-residential. And this is not about general benchmarking requirements or using Portfolio Manager or the reporting process. We covered a lot of those basics in yesterday's webinar, and that will also be posted on our website. So if you have questions about basic benchmarking, using Portfolio Manager or automatic reporting, we encourage you to go watch that recording. And today's focus can just be on multi-tenant buildings. So we will jump right in. So first, some requirements of multi-tenant properties. DOEE requires whole building data to be reported every year, and whole building data refers to energy and water data for the entire property, including all retail, tenant, and common area spaces. For multi-tenant properties that are not master metered, this means the combination of all residential or non-residential meters that feed into the building. So if your building has 5 or more meters, Pepco and Washington Gas are required by law to provide you with aggregate whole building utility data, and this data can be automatically imported into your Portfolio Manager property. And this data is aggregated to protect the confidentiality of individual tenants' energy usage. So at no time should you be requesting energy data directly from your residential tenants. And so, the purpose of this webinar is to walk you through the information you need to complete these multi-tenant property requirements. Another common question we get is how to find meter numbers. In order to request aggregated data from Pepco and Washington Gas, you will need all the meter numbers that make up the whole building energy usage. Oftentimes, these meter numbers are kept on record by the property management or maintenance staff. However, if those records are unavailable, you will need to physically check for the meter numbers. Typically, they are grouped together either outside the building, in the basement, or in a room on each floor of your building. And there are 2 images here of what a standard meter bank would look like for a multi-tenant building. On the left is a bank of electric meters, and on the right is a bank of gas meters. So you would just need to go and record all of the meter numbers in order to provide that information to Pepco and Washington Gas. Some common mistakes or questions that we get when we see multi-tenant buildings benchmarking. One of the most common is with the number of living units versus the number of bedrooms being reported. So the number of bedrooms must always be greater than or equal to the number of living units when putting into Portfolio Manager. This is always true as EPA defines studios and efficiency apartments as 1 bedrooms. So even if your entire multifamily property is made up of all studios, each of those studios would count as 1 bedroom, so the number of living units and the number of bedrooms would at the bare minimum be equal to each other. So we can see in this example screenshot on the PowerPoint, there are 224 residential living units and 291 bedrooms. So this one is input correctly, there'll be no flags. If you put fewer bedrooms than there are living units, you will get an error from Portfolio Manager and be prompted to correct that. Another thing that we see often with multi-tenant buildings is sometimes these buildings span multiple tax lots. So if multiple properties IDs are associated with your building, you will need to report all of these IDs in Portfolio Manager. If you don't already know your property's real property unique ID, please consult our covered building list, which is available on DOEE's website. We publish a new one every year that covers the buildings that are covered for the reporting year. So the 2019 covered buildings are currently on our website. And if you need to add or edit your IDs, you go into Portfolio Manager, and on the Details tab, you will see a box called Unique Identifiers, and you would click Edit, which would prompt you to scroll down to Standard IDs and click the drop-down menu. Select the District of Columbia Real Property Unique ID from this drop-down menu and enter the ID. So if you have multiple IDs, all should be added in this same box, separated by a semicolon, so that DOEE knows which tax lots are covered. So that was just a quick overview of some of the basics of benchmarking multi-tenant buildings, we're now going to switch over to a presentation from Washington Gas. So I'm just going to quickly switch over, and we will now have a presentation from Dan at Washington Gas.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Whittle with Washington Gas, and I handle the Washington Gas benchmarking portal and aggregated data inbox. So I'm just going to do a quick presentation today on how to create an account. Create an account on our benchmarking portal, as well as link that account with Energy Star. I'm trying to get one thing. Link your account with Energy Star, import your properties through Energy Star into the Washington Gas portal, as well as upload your meter information so you can receive aggregated data. On this slide here, if you look below step 5, we have our benchmarking portal web address. Our contact is our aggregated data at washgas.com inbox. Please send us any questions or concerns you have with your issues on the portal, should you run into any. We also included the link to our portal user manual. The user manual is going to pretty much have any scenario you could run into or any issue you could run into, and it provides detailed screenshots of the entire process. So it's a really good tool to use in case you have any issues, but definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us as well. All right, so this right here is our homepage on the utility Washington Gas website. From here, you can register your account if you're a new user or log in to obtain your information. So if you're a new user, you click on register, and then you'll have to input some basic information about yourself and about your company. After you do that, you can click on the register button that you see below, and that's going to prompt you to send a confirmation email to the email address you registered with. After you receive that email, click on complete enrollment, and you should be able to log back into the Washington Gas benchmarking portal. All right, from that point, you'll need to link your account with Energy Star Portfolio Manager. You can do that if you click from the My Properties page and click on Import Property Energy Star. It's going to give you some information on steps and how to complete the registration. On that second slide you see below where it says log into Portfolio Manager, make sure you copy that WGL_UCX_WEB_SVC user, as that's our vendor locator in Energy Star. So you'll need to search that in order to connect. And then if you see below that your utility login, that's your unique login. So you'll need to send that to identify your Washington Gas portal account as well. So I'm just going to go over some of the steps in detail. So first up, you need to log into Energy Star Portfolio Manager here, and then go to the Contacts button, which you see on that bottom left graphic. After you click on Contacts, select on Add Contact. After you select on Add Contact, input the Washington Gas vendor username. This is all caps, and it's very specific, so it's WGL_UCX_WEB_SVC, and then click on Connect. So after that's done, it should send a connection request to Washington Gas. If you actually go back to our portal at that time from your My Properties page, which is right here, and then on the Import Property, and you click Next there on that button, that's going to complete the connection, but you still need to import your properties from Energy Star Portfolio Manager onto the Washington Gas portal. So that'll be the next step that we go over. And then back on the Energy Star Portfolio Manager site, you need to click on the Sharing tab, select the properties you'd like to share with Washington Gas or utility, and select Personalized Sharing and Exchange Data. Select Full Access and Exchange Data. A pop-up box will appear. You'll need to select full access for property info, meter info, and goals, improvements, and checklist recognition. Then you'll select Authorize and click the Shared Properties button. You will now then see a green text box stating you have successfully shared your properties with Washington Gas. After that, you can go back to the Washington Gas benchmarking portal and click on Next, and then you'll see these Import Property, Shared Property instructions pop up. If you click Next on that, you should have all of your properties upload onto our site. From this point, you can add in your meters. From the My Properties tab, if you click on Edit, you'll then be prompted, or you'll need to click on Edit again under Meter Info. And then you can either add one by one if you have a few, or if you have a list, just separate each meter with a comma. And you can click on Add Multiple Meters and then copy and paste that. And then after you do that, if you click Submit, you should receive aggregated data. Your current consumption should pop up, which you see at that top graphic. Your number of meters will be displayed, and then you should receive an Energy Star score. If you don't receive a score, you can click on Why is my score not calculated? There might be certain items that you either did incorrectly or haven't completed on the Energy Star side, but it will give you instructions on how to do that at that point. And then also you can always, from your My Properties screen, you can always click on Refresh to update data. It does update every 30 to 45 days based on your billing dates. That is something to keep in mind. If you want a more current score, you can click Refresh and it'll update to that current date. So the good thing about this process is once you are registered, your aggregated data is just a click away. Once you sync your properties or upload all of your meters, if one tenant's meter for some reason is faulty or we do a meter replacement, you're not going to have to go back in and enter in that new meter number. It's connected into our actual database, so that's going to be updated on our end regardless. So you don't have to worry about doing that. You'll have a way to compare year by year for each property, and you can archive your data by clicking on the Go Green buttons from your My Property page, and it'll provide you with all kinds of different graphs or Excel documents, whatever you basically need to catalog that data. You can also share your data if you have another user that you want to consolidate all of the properties with. You can share that through our property through the benchmarking portal through the sharing tab. You'll just be prompted to enter in their email address or their user ID on our benchmarking portal. And that pretty much covers how to link your account and upload meter data on the Washington Gas side. I hope this presentation was informative, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our aggregated data at washgas.com inbox. We try to get to your emails within 24 hours, and we'll do our best to help you out. And I guess I'll go ahead and pass it back to Joanna.
Thank you so much, Dan. And now we are going to go ahead and hear from Pepco. Let me just give me one moment, and we will switch that over.
My name is Meletis Medina, and I am in charge of the Resource Advisor for Pepco here, and I'm just going to go over really quick what the process is. So Resource Advisor is a tool that we designed with Schneider Electric, and Resource Advisor is going to provide you 24 months of historical electricity usage data. It also gets updated monthly, so you see your monthly usage. It has the ability to track the energy use pattern of multiple facilities within portfolio of properties. It has data analytics with graphics capability to help identify energy efficient upgrade opportunities and track changes in efficiency. It feeds two-way with Portfolio Manager.
Meletis, I just want to make sure that I'm not seeing your screen shared. I'm not sure if other people are able to see it, so I just want to make sure that you have that shared with folks.
Let's try this again.
There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Great. I'm sorry. We tested this before. So this is what I was talking about earlier, the information that it feeds two-way with Portfolio Manager. That way you don't have to input no information manually. And like Joanna was stating, the information is aggregated. So there's no issues with confidentiality with the tenants everything is aggregated for the whole building. And it's easier for the customer. That way you don't have to input anything manually into it. The way that it works is just an easy process. You can go to petco.com and you can download the form. The form is pretty easy. It just asks for your name, your tax ID, the address of the property, and it asks you to list all the meter numbers or all the account numbers, whatever information you have with you. Once I get that form, I set you up through our side, through Petco, and we have a communication with Schneider Electric, and you will get your user ID and password from Schneider Electric. They will provide that information to you. I'm the one that also sends you the information of the instructions of how to sync your resource advisor to your portfolio manager. I don't have information. I mean, it's Shane from Schneider will be the one talking a little bit more of how to link that information, because that's actually something that I do not work on. I only work on the process to set you up for the property. I'm sorry, get me out. This is just a little information of how the data flows. The system talks to our billing system with Petco, and the information is transferred to Resource Advisor. Then from Resource Advisor is transferred to the portfolio manager. This is what the monthly usage looks like in Resource Advisor. All you need to do is just put your address in the top and that date that you want usage for, and apply filter, and this is the information that you will get of your usage, monthly usage. This is an example of a variance report. This helps you identify the individual building usage and compares consumption reported previously for that same location. And this is what it will look when it's already connected with Portfolio Manager. It will give you your score and any type of data analytics. This is our contact information. Basically is our email address, our phone number. This is our website that you will have go in if you have any information, any questions, or you want to download the form. I usually try to get to you within 24 hours because I know it's something that you really need the information for. And don't hesitate to ask me any questions at the end if you need any additional information. I'm done.
Great. Thank you so much, Miladis.
I'm sorry for the confusion.
No worries. Okay, so we are now going to hear from our last presenter, who is Shane from Schneider Electric. So Shane, I'm going to pass over presentation powers to you now.
Excited to be with the DOEE. We have 450 plus users signed up with this program. Really the main value proposition is that you get started, you set it up once, and then every year you can log in and see your Petco usage in Portfolio Manager. Before I move on, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I think we're good. I can see it on my end, and I think I'm a regular viewer at this point, so I think you're good to go.
Great. So, through the years, one of the main questions we get a lot is about the mechanics of how to connect these two accounts. And so I thought it'd be valuable, and I'm going to try this out. I practiced it yesterday, and it worked. I'm going to do this in real time with a couple of demo accounts so you guys can really see the step-by-step process in real time. Really similar to what Dan pointed out and showed you guys on the Washington Gas side with some nuances. So we're going to give it a shot. First off, though, want to point you to the website Miladis was talking about. This is where you sign up. It's on Petco's benchmarking website. I wanted to kind of highlight that we do have these really detailed step-by-step instructions right here under the Portfolio Manager process, and that links to this lengthy document with a bunch of screenshots that's going to show everything that I'm going to show you today over the phone. So I want to make sure that you guys knew that this was there. And then secondly, if you scroll all the way down, you've got contact information to my team. So Melodis and her team at Pepco is going to handle getting you guys set up, verifying your meters, and all that stuff. But we are responsible for making sure that the tool works for you. And so that includes any kind of technical questions or issues. This is how you get a hold of us, and we try to respond in 24 hours like everyone else on this call. So like Melodis said, you're going to get a Resource Advisor login. It's going to look like this when you log in. You're going to get this pretty standard dashboard. I've also got Portfolio Manager pulled up here. This is kind of what you get when you log right in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And this should take, maybe like 5 or 7 minutes just here on the phone. But I've done this a couple of times. So navigating to Resource Advisor, and again, it does really help if you have both of these open in browser tabs. I'm under Manage, I'm going to Program Setup. And I'm simply naming my connection right now. It can be completely arbitrary, does not matter. I hit Generate Key, and what this is doing at this point is that Portfolio Manager and Resource Advisor need to talk to each other, and so it is creating a unique identifier to link these two accounts. So at this point, what I'm doing is I'm simply hitting Control-C to copy this key and navigating over to Portfolio Manager. Once I do that, I'm clicking under Contacts, and then I'm hitting Add Contacts. And under Username, and again, it's okay if you're not following this completely. These instructions are in full with screenshots on the Pepco website. I'm hitting Schneider SPP, which is going to get us the Schneider Web Services. This is Resource Advisor, essentially, and I'm hitting Connect. And here's where you copy the connection key and hit Agree and send a connection request. So hopefully this works in real time. I'm clicking OK and confirming account share. Fingers crossed. So I'm on Wi-Fi right now. All right, fantastic. Confirmed account share. So that means that we've kind of gotten started on this process. At this point, the connection is not complete, but we've got the first piece of it. Now what's really important is sharing the property itself. So I'm going back to Portfolio Manager, and I'm clicking on Sharing. And again, I've just got a demo property set up. So I'm going to my shared properties, which is 0. That makes sense. Clicking Share or Edit Access to Property. Clicking One Property, selecting it. Selecting Schneider Web Services, and then going down to Personalized Sharing and hitting Continue. Now this is where a lot of people kind of get messed up, and it makes sense. But I'm gonna kind of talk about it. So it's full access, meaning that we're giving Resource Advisor full access, and then hitting Exchange Data, and this is going to bring up a pop-up box. Here's the important piece. For your property, you might have a lot of meters here. You might have a lot of other metrics and things like that you feel like, oh, well, I don't need to give Resource Advisor full access to all these. Unfortunately, you actually do. It's just essential to get the API connection set up. And so a lot of people don't hit full access, and then it doesn't work. So just a reminder, hit full access for everything that's going to be in this box. For some of you with a pretty robust and built-out property and Portfolio Manager, there might be a lot in this box. Hit full access to all, and then click No, and then apply selection. At this point, you should be able to share the property. So once you've got this green box here, that means you can navigate back to Resource Advisor. And then I'm going to click Confirm Property Share. And then what should happen if this doesn't take too long is I'm going to refresh, and I should see a share property pull up. And as you can see, that 0 has changed to 1, indicating that we're successful here. So my next step, as you can see, the connection is complete. Yes, I have a shared property, 1. The setup is not complete. So if I click on No, I'm going to be directed to the program setup, which is going to be continually setting up some mapping. So for the purposes of our program, we are mapping electricity. So I'm going to click Electric as a source to track. And then under here, I'm going to click Electric Power, which is just, all this is doing is mapping what Resource Advisor calls electric power to what Portfolio Manager calls electric. And selecting kilowatt hours, I think that's pretty standard. Site level data can remain here since we are not being provided meter level data. It's going to be site level data. And then this is an important step, and I want to just take a pause here. If you have an existing property and portfolio manager that has data that you've been putting in yourself, you don't necessarily want to eliminate all that data. And so what we're trying to do is figure out the first month of data that you are starting with this program. And so if, like Milana said, if we're getting 12 months of history or 24 months of history, then I'm going to go back to assume that February 2018 is my start date for this program. And what that's going to do is it's basically going to make your portfolio manager data seamless. So it's going to stop the meter that was previously being loaded data to in Portfolio Manager, and then start up this meter in February 2018. So once I've done that, I'm going to keep Portfolio Manager up to date every day, so that way when my team loads a new piece of data, you're getting that the next day. So at this point, I'm just adding the site in question to my program and hitting save. So once I've done that, if I go back to program setup, you see that I've got 2 yeses across the board, so I'm good to go. Just one final step remains. Now I'm getting over to property report, and then all I'm doing now is syncing this, which is in Resource Advisor, to this, which is coming from Portfolio Manager by clicking Edit. And you can see that this matches the name that comes from Portfolio Manager. Clicking Sync, click and save, and I'm done. So what this is doing is it's told me that the meters are mapped over to Portfolio Manager, so within about an hour or so, you're going to see an additional meter kind of come up from nowhere. That's us, that's Resource Advisor. But the following day, so overnight, data is going to transfer. So anytime that we make a change to data within Resource Advisor, it populates overnight. But essentially, that is the process, and no need to have scribble this down as I'm going through it pretty quickly. This is all available with screenshots on the document that's housed on PEPCO's website. But I did want to take a couple of minutes to go through it in real time because this is where a lot of people have questions or confusion. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, once more, on the instruction document is how you can get a hold of me and my team. Whoops. If you have technical questions, this is right here on the bottom. Portfolio Manager Support at ems.schneider-electric.com. Yeah, I guess I'll turn it back over to the DOEE. I hope this was helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shane. That was really helpful. All right. So I also wanted to put DOEE's contact information up there as well. If you have questions specifically about getting aggregated data or using the utility or resource advisor tool, it is best to reach out directly to PEPCO Washington Gas. However, if you have questions about your benchmarking report that can't be answered either by Portfolio Manager resources or existing resources on the DOEE's website, we do have a help center that operates Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and you can contact us at info.benchmark@dc.gov or give us a call at 202-671-3300. That contact information is listed there.